This is the plaintiff, Jean-Robert Cadet. He says he hired the defendant to pet sit for his 2 dogs, and the careless woman lost one of them. That's right. She says the dog ran out of the house after seeing a bunny rabbit. He still can't find his beloved dog and is suing this terrible person for the $3,500 he's now owed because he's heartbroken. This is the defendant, Ananda. She says it wasn't her fault the plaintiff's dog bolted out the door because he loved bunnies, and she has a lot of them in her yard. She helped him look for the dog. She even offered to cancel a vacation so she could search more. But he said that's ridiculous and to go have fun. Then he turns around and sues her for $3,500? Come on. She's accused of losing a guy's dog. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $500, the amount she was supposed to get paid for dog sitting, plus defamation.
All parties, please raise your right hand. People's Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Marilyn Milian is presiding. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Cadet, you are suing Ms. Ananda for $3,500 that you say you are out as a result of her negligence. You are counterclaiming $500 for defamation and dog sitting. Let me hear from you first, Mr. Cadet. What's going on?
So this took place about a few months ago in July. I left the country to go visit family. I was gone for 2 weeks. I asked the plaintiff if she would be able to watch my dogs for me.
Were you 2 friends?
Yes.
Okay, had she ever dog sat for you before?
Yes, she has.
Was there an agreement that you would pay her for the dog sitting services?
Originally, there wasn't, but then when I was away, she called me and asked if I would be able to compensate her, considering I was going to go through a dog watching service, and I told her I would.
Do either of you discuss how much?
No.
Neither one of you does?
No.
All right, so then you come back from vacation, and what happens?
So I come back from vacation, and on the 9th, I call her to let her know I'm back. I'd be getting ready to come get the dogs, and then a few minutes later, she calls me back and tells me that Coco ran away. Coco's gone. And so when I asked her what happened, she said she was literally loading up the car to bring them. She was putting the leash on Bear, and then she looked, and then Coco was gone.
Was she inside the house or outside the house?
She said she was inside the house.
All right, but how would Coco get out of the house?
Right, that was my main question. So I asked her, was someone propping the door open or holding the door? She said that her door's open or stays open sometimes. But what she didn't know is when I was at her house, I was observing the door, and every time the door opens, it closes automatically. It's the front main door of the house. So how could that door just be open for a dog to run out?
But what did she say? Did she say that it had to be open, or did she say, I saw it open?
She said, so this is when the story starts getting interesting, because the first time she said the door was open, but then when I asked why would the door be open, she says the door is always open. And then I asked, why would you have the door open if you're watching dogs? Oh, the time she had them, they never went out of the house. And then, oh, maybe Coco seen a bunny because she has bunnies in her neighborhood.
Okay. Were you able to find Coco?
No.
Coco remains missing to this day.
Remains missing.
Which dog is this?
That's Coco.
What kind of dog is it?
She's a toy poodle, Shih Tzu, and Pekingese.
And this is Bear?
That was Coco when she was a puppy.
What happened, Ms. Ananda?
Good evening, Your Honor. What happened was an unfortunate accident. That's what happened. Basically, I was rushing around, had a busy day. So he calls me, tells me he's just landed. He's at home, and a gentleman that he lives with has his vehicle, so he's not able to come to my house. I say, okay, well, I'm running around. It's going to take me a little bit before I can get to you, but I will get to you. I literally got home. My boyfriend was going to work exactly at like 4 o'clock. I said, hey, can you do me a favor, grab Bear and Coco stuff because Bobby's home and I'm going to drop them off as I drop you to work. It's in the same route. I go in the house. Bear and Coco are right in the kitchen because, of course, when I come in, they're excited to see me. I clip Bear. As I clip Bear, I literally turn around and I'm like, is Coco? Now I'm calling her. She has been going up and down the stairs, so I look up the stairs and I'm like, Coco. I go to my front door, which was open. I say, hey, babe, did you see Coco come down the stairs? Because I'm calling her and I can't find her. He's standing literally on the sidewalk. He's like, no, Coco didn't come by me. Maybe go look up the stairs. I close my house door, run up the stairs in the house. I look around. I have a 4-bedroom. I'm looking in the house. I'm calling her now. I also have a cat. So I'm looking around. I'm calling the cat. Maybe like the cat scared her. So I go back downstairs in my living room. Sometimes they hide under the couch. I look under the couch. My cat's under there. I'm like, okay, no Coco. So at this point, I have Bear. I go down. I open my front door. I go down the stairs. I said, babe, I cannot find Coco. He's like, what? I said, I can't find her. That's exactly what I'm telling you. I cannot find her. He said, all right. Let's go look for her, call Bobby. I said, I sure will. Me and my boyfriend, I went to the left, he went to the right, down Harvard Street, down Portland. Coco is about 7 pounds. I just took her to go do her rabies and they weighed her. She's about 7 pounds. Her legs can't go as fast as a bigger dog, of course, would go. So to me, in my mindset, and my boyfriend is like, how quick did this dog go? Where did she go? He actually,
You had just taken Coco and Bear to a vet appointment?
Yes, a couple days prior to it.
Had you expected to have to take the pets to a vet appointment?
No, ma'am. No,
So
ma'am.
he calls you from, where was he, Haiti?
Yeah,
And then he calls you and tells you they have an appointment, will you please take them?
Would you be able to bring them? And I
All right, and then he pays for the appointment, obviously.
Yes, ma'am.
And wasn't one of the things that got done at that appointment to have a chip put in?
Yes, ma'am.
So why can't we find Coco through the chip?
That's what I was asking. I'm not a dog
Okay,
owner.
why can't we find Coco through the chip?
Your Honor, unfortunately, we can't find Coco through the chip because when she went and took the dog to get the dog microchip, this is supposed to go on the collar of the dog, and it was never
Wait,
placed.
so the chip isn't inside the body of the dog?
That's what I thought, Your Honor.
But I guess the chip's in the body, but from what they was told,
If the chip's in the body, why can't we locate Coco?
because this goes on the tag, and if Coco's missing, once they see this, they will know to scan her. If Coco gets found,
Right, but if
from
a vet,
pound-
right now, if Coco goes to the vet because somebody found Coco, wouldn't the vet scan?
I believe so.
Because
but-
you know what's also on the collar? Your phone number. So we really, can't be how the chip works. It's got to be that, you know, hey, I found this dog. Can you scan it? The vet scans to see if there's so nobody's called you to say Coco's been.
No, which leads me to believe that Coco could be somewhere, because how is it that she hasn't? I've been calling around, looking around, no.
You've been calling the pound and animal control and all that, and she
Yeah.
hasn't surfaced.
and nothing yet.
I called, Your Honor, and I called the animal shelters, Cambridge. They're telling me, ma'am, we need his information. What kind of dog is it? What's this? What's that? And I'm like, I don't know this information. I text him. I asked him, I need a picture of her. He sends me a picture of her. I said, what's the information? He's like, have them call me. I'm like, okay.
Did they call you?
No.
Did you call them?
I called and I couldn't reach anyone.
Really?
I went
How
to
was she able to
voicemail.
reach someone?
That's what I want to know.
You had an unusual reaction to this because I'd go nuts from the beginning, but you were like super nice about it.
I was trying to keep my composure on it because at the time of arriving, I just started a new job over the summer and I was enrolled in my first graduate course. So unfortunately, I had to focus my attention on my studies and my education at the time. So it was as overwhelming
Yeah,
as
but
it
you
was
were
for me.
also enrolled in that same school when you were no longer okay. Did you at the beginning think Coco would be found?
I thought so at first, but then as I kept replaying what was said to me, certain things I heard her say, I just felt like her story wasn't adding up. If she gave
Well, what do you think she did?
I
Think she
think she
killed
could've
Coco
either
like
maybe
with her bare
sold-
hands or something, or you think
People
Coco
are
got
telling
lost?
me she could either sold her or she maybe has plans on breeding Coco maybe later because
Well, why not just breed her with your permission and share in the? I mean,
know.
she's your friend, right?
Right.
So much of your friend that she was willing to take care of the dogs originally for free, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So now Coco's gone, and your feeling was that he wasn't even trying that hard to find her.
Yes, ma'am.
Why do you feel that way?
I feel like that because I paid for the flyers. I feel like that because there was nothing around where I was at all, where she was even missing. We went to go print out flyers and they never got printed. My boyfriend even offered to pay for her flyers to be printed. Before I went to
And
Houston,
what happened? Nobody ever put up flyers?
Ma'am, before I went to Houston, I printed out my own flyers of pictures that I have of Coco, screenshots, and I put them up, and my witnesses helped me put them up.
So you put up flyers, and then you're going to Houston, and do you talk to him before your trip?
Yes, yep. We had
And
a
what
discussion
conversation
before my
did you
trip. We came to the house. He came to my home. We talked. We cried together. I opened up to him, of course, as my friend, and he explained to me, listen, I don't blame you. I know nothing happened to Coco. I don't blame you. I want you to go spend this time in Houston with your best friend. You deserve it. People take advantage
Why
of you.
were you offering to not go?
Yeah, I did not want to go in the beginning at all. I was kind of like having issues with the friend I was going with, and I was worried about Coco. I didn't know what was going on at all. I was scared. I've never been through this in my life. So I'm not even a dog owner. And I have a cat. So for me, I would be freaking out. I even said in text messages, I don't even want to bother going because I have already too much going on. And he's like, go, you deserve this. We'll find
And not
Coco
only that, he
together.
sends you some money.
Yes, ma'am.
So you can have fun on your trip.
Yes, ma'am.
That's such a weird thing to do for someone who you feel lost your dog. So I'm kind of curious, why did you send her money to play with in Houston when the dog was still...
Well, I did tell her I was going to compensate her for watching the dogs, and I'm a man of my word. If I say I'm going to do something, I will. Because we didn't discuss the amount, I sent what I thought was feasible. Because at the end of the day, I believe in the universe. I'm a positive person, and I'm not gonna not keep my word. And I also.
So is that the only amount? Is that the only amount that went from you to her? The 200? Like the day you picked up the one dog, Bear, you didn't pay her anything other than the 200. Sorry. So then, right before her trip, you send her the 200, and now you're suing for that back because now you thought it through and you wish you hadn't. Grooming for Coco, $275. Why are you suing for that?
I'm not suing for that in particular. That's just to show the extent of the care I give Coco. I take good care of my dogs, Your Honor.
You've also listed the rabies shot, $2,000 in pain and suffering, and $1,000 that you paid for Coco. Right. And you're suing him for defamation and more money for dog sitting. You lost his dog.
I get that, Your Honor.
So then, but you're suing him for $400 more because you feel like you should be paid even more for losing a dog?
Not paid
How
more.
do you figure that it's not your fault? If not yours, then whose?
It's nobody's fault. Accidents happen. You're
Yeah, no, accidents happen. That's why, nobody's saying that you put your hands around the throat and throttled the dog. Nobody's accusing you of that. But when accidents happen, people have to pay, right?
Of
like
course.
that. If you have a car accident, if I crash into
course.
your car, I say accidents happen. Then you're going to look at me and say, yes, I understand you didn't hit me on purpose, but pay for my car, right? So that's what's happening here. He's suing you for the cost of the dog, but your answer is accidents happen. But it happened to you.
Yes, ma'am.
Because the dog got loose.
in my care. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So why are you suing him then for more dog sitting money and defamation of character?
Well, the defamation of character was just the unnecessary, like, I have this bad energy. When we last talked, it was I'm the devil, and just putting me out there to be somebody I'm after.
But to who? To you?
Not.
Just in private conversation?
To people who are around, everybody that was around.
Okay, I don't know what that means. So when you say everybody was around, were there people?
My witnesses who are here were around, sitting in the living room while we were all standing there.
And why? And he is saying that to you in front of them?
Yes, because
he is saying what to you?
The dog being lost, and he's like, "Don't say things like that because, you know, that's the devil talking, and you're the devil. You know, that's why Coco was missing." And I'm like, "I didn't."
Don't say things like what? What was it you had said that?
Your Honor, will explain.
Yeah.
So we're at her house and we were looking for something to watch, and she said she likes to
This
watch.
is after Coco's missing?
Yeah. So that evening when we were at the house, she explains to me she likes to watch like dark, scary, horrific things, and I was explaining that I'm opposite. I like positive. I like to watch uplifting, you know, things that aren't going to give me a bad vibe or a bad feeling. And so when she explained that Coco mysteriously ran out of the house, I said maybe from all the dark movies and shows you watch, you could have invited some entity in your house that scared the dog off. And that's what I said.
I think what happened is that somebody left the door open and the dog got out, period. And the dog never came back. So he's out a dog and he'd like to be compensated. It's not that complicated. All right. On your counterclaim against him for more money for dog sitting, you would have to prove to me that you're owed more money, and I don't think you are. And for defamation of character, I don't think what you've described comes anywhere near being defamation of character. I understand, Mr. Cadet, that there's a lot of pain and suffering whenever an animal is concerned, because we consider them part of the family. I understand that. But dogs are property under the eyes of the law. So what you would be entitled to is not the money you've poured into the dog or the care you've taken of the dog or the pain and suffering you're suffering through the dog. What you're entitled to is the cost of the dog, okay? I'm ruling in your favor in the amount of $1,000. Verdicts for the plaintiff. Take care, folks.
Thank you.
So the plaintiff prevails. He's going to get $1,000 from the defendant for the loss of the dog. The defendant's on her way out of the courtroom. You know, I'm really surprised you actually filed a countersuit to get money when the dog was lost, you know, under your care. It takes a lot of nerve to do that, I think. But you didn't get it. You surprised?
Yes, it was an unfortunate situation. I was surprised, actually, because the $200 he did give me was not for the dogs. But, you know, it's sad that Coco was just not found.
So are you still friendly with him?
Oh, am I still
Is he friendly with you, I guess is really.
Right, exactly. I have no, you know, no problem towards him. You know, it's just an unfortunate situation, but I wish him the best, and, you know, that's it.
Well, it sounds like you did what you could when the dog disappeared. So I'm really sorry too. So unfortunately, that's it. That's the end of the case. You don't get any more money. Sorry about that.
That's okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we'll get Mr. Cadet to come out. He is the plaintiff who obviously was devastated when he got the news that the dog was lost. I think any pet owner would feel the same way. Mr. Cadet, let me ask you how you're feeling now. How long has it been since this happened?
It's been about 2 months now.
All right, I'm so sorry for your loss. You're only going to get $1,000. You couldn't get any more. Are you all right with that?
I'm all right. I'm just sad the fact that Coco's out there probably just drinking tap water and eating grocery store dog food. But after that, I'll just, you know, hang in there, stay positive, and hope that I find her eventually.
Listen, we hope so too. Good luck.
So, Doug, this is simply a case where the defendant was negligent, and the negligence emanates from the leash law, that if a dog goes into a public place, the dog has to be restrained on a leash. And that means that if the dog is in a house and doesn't have to be in a leash, if you allow that dog to get out without a leash, that becomes the violation of the leash law. And the consequence here is that the dog seems to be missing for good.
If a person charges 600% interest for a loan, it is usury and it is illegal in most states. Why is it not usurious for a loan company to do it? I live in South Carolina. Is this legal?
With that kind of an APR, annual percentage rate, the guy's got to be talking about a payday loan, okay? And payday loans are high-risk loans. You're giving money for a short-term loan to a high-risk borrower. He's saying he's in South Carolina. In South Carolina, they can charge you $15 per 100. So if you borrow $100, next week you owe them $115, or it costs you $15. If you borrow $200, you pay them $230. But that equates to a 391% APR, which is pretty high. So if you can get it cheaper on a credit card, or if you have a payday loan and it's accruing high interest or something, pay it off with your credit card, which is probably an 18% annual percentage rate, something a lot lower.
Right. The entities that are allowed to charge that will never be like a private person. A person cannot do that.
Right.
But
that
there
would
are
be
some,
usury.
Right. And there are some entities that are allowed to do that, and you got to think of why they're allowed. They're allowed because there are some people who really, really need that money right now to not get evicted, and nobody's going to loan them money because they've been really bad about things before.
They have bad credit.
So you know, it's kind of a necessary evil in order to bridge some people, and that's why it's permitted in a lot of places.
Right. It's a lot of people find it very distasteful, and they say, oh, it's predatory, or however you want to describe it, but you know, it's a free market in the United States, and we let free people decide their own futures and their own reality. If they need the money, you let them go get it. What's the alternative? To go to a loan shark and have them break your legs if you don't make the payment? And that's no good, right? So, you know, payday loans, they have their place.